Hello ladies and gentlemen, King Lear here and welcome back to some more Black Desert Online. So we've taken a look at the trading system. So what I wanted to give you a little look at now is the crafting system and the NPC worker system as well. So I'm going to start with player crafting first and then we'll look at worker crafting. So I have a quest at the moment to make meat stew with either wolf meat or fox meat. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to gather the meat. Now I happen to know there are foxes out by the imp cave over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is go about gathering the meat that we're going to need to make this stew. So let's get on our horse, Shadowfax, and let's head over to the imps. There's someone doing some trading with a wagon there. So if we head through the forest here and start to head towards the imp cave, here we go. Here are some foxes. Now we need 5 meat. So let's get started and start to butcher some foxes. So I currently have a butcher's knife equipped as my trade tool, which means I'll be able to butcher these corpses. Likewise, if I wanted to mine, I'd need a pickaxe equipped, etc, etc. So there's 2 fox meat, and I just gained a gathering level as well, which means my gathering is now apprentice level 2, which is reasonably high. So in the previous videos I mentioned that your character has a counter of energy. Everything you do, whether it be talking to NPCs or whether it be butchering creatures, takes a bit of this. So you can see your current count in the top left. It's the second bar. That's the amount of energy that you have. And you gain 1 point every 3 minutes. So we need to kill one more fox. So let us gather this meat. We currently have 4 fox meat. So 1 more should do the trick. There we go. There is 5 fox meat. We now have enough meat. So let's have a look at the recipe and see what else it needs. So we need 2 flour of any kind. So I happen to know where I can get some flour. We need to head back into town. So let's ride Shadowfax. There's someone farming some sunflowers. Get out of my way, I'm on a horse. So if we head up into town and head to the far side of town here. Here we go. This is a potato farm, I think. So we need to wander around and find some potatoes that we can harvest. There we go. There's some potatoes. And we got 2 potatoes. So if I go into my inventory and I click on produce, I can go into grinding. I can choose my 2 potatoes and I can start grinding them. And I will grind the potatoes down into potato flour. So there's 1 potato flour. And there's a second potato flour there now. So 5 meat we have, 2 flour we have, mineral water. I think I have some of that. I do, but it's probably in my bank. And then cooking wine as well. So let's hop back onto Shadowfax. Let's head into town. Oh. I'm probably going a bit too fast for town here. I could slow my horse down, but I like to get where I'm going. So let's have a look in our bank at the warehouse manager here. Mineral water. We do have some mineral water. Let's take the mineral water out of the bank. Let's just take it all for the sake of taking it. We had some potatoes in the bank anyway. Cool. And now we need cooking wine. Get back on our horse, and I believe I can get cooking wine from the inn. I'm not going to kick my horse up to full speed because it is extremely awkward to control if you do. Fuck it. Let's go a little bit quicker. There we go. Now, let's leave our horse there. Let's head into the inn and speak to the chef. And he is selling some cooking wine. So we need 2 cooking wine, I believe it was. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, 2 cooking wine. We have all of the ingredients now. We can go upstairs to my player-owned house. Don't judge me. I only bought this so that I could install an oven in it to do cooking. I haven't put any other furniture in it at all yet. So, let's cook. So we need 5 meat, 2 flour, 2 cooking wine, 3 mineral water. So let's open the stove. Let's add 5 meat. Let's add 2 flour. Let's add 3 mineral water. And let's add 2 cooking wine. So this should hopefully make a meat stew now. There we go. Crafting has succeeded. We now have a meat stew, which increases my maximum HP by 30 for 30 minutes. The other thing about food in this game is if we look down here, I have a health stat. And basically, my health stat increases my hit points, and eating food helps level up my health. So if I eat this, I'll gain a bit of health experience. So the more food you eat, the more buffs you get from food, the more your health stat increases, and the more your base hit points of your character increases as well. So let's leave my player-owned house. That is the crafting for a character. So your character can craft. You have all kinds of recipes that you can craft. You have cooking. You have alchemy. You have lots of different ways to make raw materials, whether it be shaking materials together to make cream or butter, whether it be drying meat to make jerky, whether it be heating bronze or tin to smelt it, chopping logs into planks, all kinds of things that you can do. Let's leave my house. I will do a video on this at some stage, right? But this is the player-owned housing as well. So pretty much every building in the game, and I'll cover buildings in a little while. Most of the buildings in the game, whether it be in town or whether it be in like one of the little farms that's dotted around the town, you can buy rooms and you can have a player-owned house. So any building realistically can be turned into a player-owned house. You can visit the house of any of your friends and things as well. So we just entered mine, let's go into the public list. Let's choose the player that has the highest rank on this, meaning they have lots of stuff in it. Let's have a quick look. So here's someone else that owns that same house that has put a bit of furniture into it. Very, very nice looking. They have a lovely wolf's head on the wall there. So that is character crafting. You get ingredients, you mix those ingredients together, and you can craft like that. So let's turn in this quest. There we go. Quest completed. I gave him the meat stew. Now the other kind of crafting and gathering in this game, aside from the one you do with your character, which I just showed you there, involves workers. So this guy here is a work supervisor. Most towns will have these, and you can hire NPC workers from him. So if you speak to him and you choose the contract workers option, now I can't hire any more workers because I need additional lodging. But you would click here, it would give you a worker at random. You can choose if you like that one, or you can choose to re-roll and find a different one, which consumes some of your energy. You can also buy any of the houses in town, and you can set them up. Some houses can only be used for some things, so let's have a quick look. So this house, for example, I could buy that for one contribution point. I currently have 5. It would cost me 500 silver, and that would allow me to hire 1 additional worker. Or I could upgrade it and hire 2 additional more. Once you have workers, they'll appear in your worker list. So I have 2 workers here. One of them is level 3, and he is currently out mining for me. And one of them is level 6. So what workers allow you to do is more complex crafting, and they also allow you to gather. So for example here, in a previous video we unlocked the coastal cave, and we unlocked the iron ore node. So we have an NPC worker. We can click on the coastal cave. Okay, so we currently have someone mining there. Right, let's cancel that. Okay, he's heading back to town. So, I'm struggling a little bit to show you this here. Tell you what, let's go down and unlock the copper node and I'll show you. Get out of my way, people. So we're going to head down the beach past all of these fishers. And we're going to head to the node manager for the coastal cave that we saw earlier. We should be just around this corner. There he is. So let's have a chat to him, and let's unlock the copper ore node by investing some contribution in it. And here we can see this area is not worked, but it's unlocked. It's part of our trade route, so we have the ability to work it. So I could choose a worker that's not currently doing a job, and I can send that worker to mine some copper ore. Now it'll tell me how long it's going to take. So for every session of mining he does, he will take 40 minutes or so, and he will come back with some copper ore and a few other bits and pieces. You can tell him to go once. You can tell him to go the maximum amount of time he can before he runs out of energy, which is 2. And it's based off his stats. So if we have a look at him here, we can see his speed he works at, his movement speed as he travels, walks along the road to the area, his luck, which determines how good loot and things he gets, and his stamina, which determines how long he can go without resting. And workers have different perks and skills that they unlock at different levels as well. So you can send your worker to gather, you can send them to get materials and things like that, and then while you are sending him to do that stuff, you can be off doing whatever, and your worker will go and do those tasks himself. So that's how you send your workers to gather. Now the other thing that you can do is more complex crafting. So if we have a look at the map and we have a look at town, we can see all the stuff we have stored in the bank in the town here, and this is what your guys will use to craft. We can see all of the buildings in town here. So as I said, if we click on one, each building can be used as a different thing. The white ones I own, so I own all of these. The blue ones I don't own. And they have different purposes. So this blue building, for example, can be used as storage. It can be used as a horse ranch to add extra slots in the stable so I can keep more horses. It can be used as a weapon workshop so I can craft weapons, an armor workshop so I can craft armor, or a residence, which is a personal house. Players can have 5 player-owned houses that they can put loads of furniture in and stuff like that. So if we have a look at some of the buildings I do own, this one is a lodging, so I have workers in there. I'm going to level this up for 1,000 silver, and it will take 10 minutes, and then I'll be able to hire an additional worker. So that is leveling up there. This is my personal house that we were just in cooking. These two are storage, so I have these upgraded and I have these as storage, which means that they're adding additional space in my bank in this town. And then these I have as crafting buildings here. So how do you craft with your workers then? Well, if you look at... Okay, let's take a look at this building here. 2 Tree in Valia. This has a very handy thing, which is a wagon workshop. So for those of you who watch my trading video, you'll know there's different ways to transport your goods and to trade. And one of these ways is with wagons, which can hold an awful lot more stuff than a donkey. So I want a wagon. So this wagon workshop, if I purchase it, can be used to craft a shabby wagon and can be used to craft a flimsy wagon. It costs 5 contribution points to buy this. It'll take 2.5 hours and it'll cost 5,000 silver. Just to unlock this building as something where I can craft. I very much want a wagon, so I'm going to spend my last 5 contribution points to start unlocking this building. So now in 2.5, I will have this building available and I'll be able to start crafting a wagon. For worker crafting, if we take a look at something I already have, we have a shipyard here where I'm working on building a raft. And for that, I need logs and I need blackstone powder. So I don't quite have the logs to complete crafting this, so I won't show you the raft. But what I can do is I have a quest at the moment to craft a fishing rod. If we see over here in my quest log, order your workers to produce a fishing rod, find the fishing rod in storage and equip it. So if we have a look at the map, if we go into this building here, this is currently a tool workshop. It's at level 1. I haven't upgraded it to level 2, which means I can craft level 1 tools. One of these, if we look here, is a fishing rod. So we own this workshop. We can build all of these tools because it's level 1, and one of them is a fishing rod. The fishing rod, if we look at the details, the crafting materials for it is 1 ash timber, which I have in my bank in this town. So how do we tell our workers to craft that? We go into manage crafting. We pick what we want to craft, so you can see everything is kind of grayed out here except the fishing rod, because we have the 1 ash timber required for that. And we can pick a worker, so we have this worker spare because the other one is off gathering for us. And then we click start work. So I'm going to send this guy to craft a fishing rod. So, start work. He has started to craft a fishing rod. He has used the ash timber from our bank. So in 1 hour, 1 minute and 10 seconds now, we will have a fishing rod. Makes sense so far? Very, very complicated system. And obviously the more stuff you want to craft, the more complicated it is, the harder it's going to get. If we look at the shipyard, the raft we're currently crafting only requires logs and blackstone powder. If we wanted to craft a ferry, we would need a ton of materials. Each of them obviously taking time to craft. Some of them we can personally gather and craft with our character. Some of them need to be crafted in buildings by our team of workers. So crafting things, crafting ships, crafting wagons in this game is a very, very long and complicated process, but a very intricate and a very fun one. And obviously in order to get some of these materials, we might have to trade for them. We might have to link up. Maybe one of the materials is only obtained from a gathering node out here somewhere, and we have to link up that node to our trade route so we can send our workers there to gather. And as I mentioned earlier in the previous video on trading, your NPC workers, they aren't just a thing that you see automatically from that map screen. They will legitimately go out and walk around and gather those things. So I have a worker we've sent to this cave that is mining. He will walk back and forth between town to this cave. He will physically stand there and mine. I could follow him if I knew where he was. I could follow him and I could watch him mine. Other players will see him walking past them in the street, which really, really makes the world feel alive. One of the other things that you can do with your NPC workers is they have stamina. So I showed you the stamina bar that the guys have. And in order to restore their stamina, you need to feed them beer. And the beer that you need to restore their stamina with, you need to craft. So, let's just show you how to brew beer in case you're wondering. Okay, I've sent my worker off. He's done a load of work. Now he's absolutely wrecked. And he can no longer function because he needs a drink after a hard day's work. So if we head into the bar here, you're going to have to bear with me a sec.
What about the talk around town about Isabel, who is both
till I work out how to craft beer.
Must you do this? But they were actually half brother and sister. The story of Santo Manzi and Bahar is cool too. Like, they were actually brothers.
So, let's shop. Oh, a guild war has broken out. So, for beer, we need 5 vegetables. We have 5 potatoes there. We need 1 sugar. So let's buy a sugar. We need 2 leavening agents, yeast, and we need 6 mineral water. We already have the mineral water. How did we get pig blood? I need to free up a bit of inventory space. So, we have the ingredients for a beer now. Let's head into our house. Let's go into the crafting. Let's add 5 potatoes to our recipe. Let's add 1 sugar. Let's add 2 yeast. And let's add 6 mineral water. And then let's cook this stuff up together. Boom. Crafting is successful. We have crafted 2 beer. The better you get at crafting, the more you'll get from it as well. So if we look at our worker list now, our guys are really tired, when they run out of stamina, we'll be able to click this recover button there to feed them any beer that we have in our inventory or any beer that we have in storage to refresh them, to restore their stamina, so that they can go out and gather and craft even more things. So that is crafting, both for your character and for your workers. That's how buying buildings, building materials, gathering, crafting works in general. Again, a very brief overview. Obviously, it gets a lot more complex depending on the amount of things you're building, the amount of materials required, how much processing is required just to get the materials. But as you can see, there is a lot involved. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this little look into Black Desert Online. I love this game so far. I am adoring it. I have like a ridiculous amount. This came out into early access yesterday morning. I have about 17 and a half playtime hours, and I've done very little. I'm still in the second town trying to do all of these quests. So a lot to this game. I'll continue to do videos and things, showing off things from time to time, showing off different systems. So please, if you have something that you want to see, if you've heard something about the game or you want to look at a particular feature, drop a comment and let me know and I will show you. I'll do my best. Again, I'm a total noob. The game is complicated, there's a lot of systems, but hopefully I'm giving you a good idea if you are on the fence or wondering about some of the systems in the game. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye bye.